quick disclaimer before I start this video. This video is not meant to be a persuasive video. This video is meant to be just me letting out some steam and letting out my thoughts about a current topic. I just want to share my thoughts on this, so if you think I'm trying to persuade you, if I think I'm trying to be convincing, if I'm trying to tell you what the truth is, this is just my own thought and my own opinion that I just wanted to put out there. So if you got a problem with it and think I'm trying to be persuasive, if you don't agree with anything I say, then don't say anything at all. Don't leave any comment or anything out in the comment section. This is just me, a number one fan, frustrated, letting out some steam. I really probably would have been a lot more frustrated about this topic if I did this video 2 days ago. But with how busy I've been, and I wanted to get my end of the season into the postseason video done first before I did this video. And I didn't want to talk about this during that video because I wanted to keep this for a separate video. So I had a little bit of a revelation, I feel like, somewhat this past month. And I can refer back to SmackDown last Tuesday, whenever Dolph Ziggler, I'm using wrestling to explain an example of something that has to do with me and baseball. How he said that he knows that he keeps losing, but it's just something that just sticks with him. It's something that he's sick with and can't get rid of. It's an addiction. And he told The Miz, one more match at No Mercy, and if you beat me, my career is over. Now, I'm not saying that I'm completely letting go of this passion that's in me. I'm just saying I've realized a little bit more and realized something else that's going on that makes me very frustrated as a fan of this Major League Baseball team. As most of you probably know, I am from Pittsburgh. I am a huge baseball and wrestling fan. And the one baseball team I've always been rooting for all these years since I started watching baseball full time back in 2004 is my home team, the Pittsburgh Pirates. That one team that every year I was hoping, will this be the year they finally get that winning season? Will this be the year maybe they be a surprise and maybe get to the playoffs? Every year when I thought that was going to happen, it didn't. And then a couple years ago, 2013 was the year the Pirates finally broke the curse. And first broke the 20-year losing streak. They had a losing season for 20 straight years. How is a team still existing in one city if they're doing that much losing for 20 straight years? I mean, some changes in management, yeah, but even a change in brand. How did that not happen? But as a fan, I kept hope. I refused to disbelieve, to keep on going and believing. And then a couple years ago in 2013, when they finally got to the playoffs, they put up a good fight against the Cardinals, came up just a bit short, and I thought, okay, they got experience, they got further, I'm satisfied. The following year, didn't win quite as many games. They only won 88 games from the 94 from the previous year. And they went to the playoffs against the Giants, and I thought, we've done great against the Giants this year, we got this. We can get maybe into the National League Championship Series and maybe get to the postseason. What happened? Didn't happen. We lost to the Giants, I think 7-0 or 8-0. I was ticked. I was really ticked. But then again, they got to the postseason. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe you didn't get lucky. Maybe next year. Build up to another decent team. I felt they could be a little better than they were the year before. So they went on to play second in their division, get the first wild card, had the second best record in the whole league with 98 wins. And they had a pretty tough division. with the Cardinals in first place, who we've been neck to neck with most of the season. And then we have the Cubs right behind us, just one game behind us. And they were the more hotter team at that time. They were a team that was known as that arrived a year early. And hats off to the Cubs. I have nothing against the Cubs at all. I think they're a great young ball team. They made a great move to get Joe Madden. They made the moves they could to win games and get to the playoffs and become the team that they were this year with 103 wins. And then we had to face Jake Arrieta. And we lost to Jake Arrieta again. And the second year in a row, we lost in the wild card game. It was a tough loss. But then I felt, you know what? 98 win team, as long as we don't do something stupid this offseason, we should be right back in the following year. That offseason. Last offseason is where things for me started going downhill as far as the Pirates went. So, last offseason, I was really ticked off about because we lost AJ Burnett and Aramis Ramirez to retirement. Two big players right there. In fact, we didn't even put Aramis Ramirez, a guy who we acquired to be a cleanup hitter, into our starting lineup because of defensive purposes. They want to get their best defense in there, which was a little bit tough because Pedro Alvarez was... I love Pedro Alvarez to death, but I understand why they want to put him in the starting lineup because of his defense that game. But we put Sean Rodriguez in at first base. Sean Rodriguez! And not Aramis Ramirez, a guy who we acquired from the Brewers last year to be our cleanup hitter to help us get to the playoffs, which worked great. And just because we have a better third baseman in there in Jung Ho Gung, we couldn't put Ramirez over at first base. We trained him to play first base. He seemed comfortable, and it couldn't be the case, and we lost the game. Okay, that's a little bit go back too far. Getting back to last offseason. The only one that I did not expect to come back was Pedro Alvarez because of his defense. I was completely okay with us letting him go. But then we got rid of Neil Walker. Neil Walker, for crying out loud, because he had 1 year left on his contract. 1 year left. And he thought, oh, we should trade him because he's going to be worth more money elsewhere. Let me tell you something, Pirates. You're saying you're trying to do that whole dump, building up for your future? Those days are over. Those days were back in those 20 years where you were losing and you were having people coming in. And most of the main problem was your starting pitching. You know, I went through one time and I actually did a Pirates lineup during the losing era with the starting lineups. I had guys like, I'm trying to think, Jack Wilson, Craig Wilson, Brian Giles, Jason Bay. I can't remember the whole line around because I don't have it on hand right now, but we had a lot of great hitters in that lineup. We just didn't have any pitching. That was the reason why we kept losing all these years. But anyways, getting back to it, the last offseason, we did a semi-fire sale, which is a semi-fire sale meaning we got rid of some key players. For no reason at all whatsoever. No, I'm sorry. Because money reasons. Well, here's the thing. You're just trading people to get possible potential prospects. And then the guy you signed to replace Pedro Alvarez at first base is John Jaso? A guy who's been a backup catcher his whole career, had like 2 innings at first base? I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. His defense was decent this year. I'll give him that. But with the bat, what did he supply? How could you replace a bat like Pedro Alvarez, who had monster power, who had a little bit down here with the Orioles, still got like 20-some homers, but still, a guy like John Jaso? Really? That's your answer to replace somebody at first base? I mean, Josh Harrison moved over to second base, still didn't have as good of a year as he did 2 years ago, but you know what? I'll take it. He's still done well. And then for starting pitching too, you didn't find anybody well. Well, okay. Ryan Vogelsong, he didn't have as good of a year, but I'll give him credit. That was a good gamble to get him. He missed most of the year, though, with that eye injury after he got hit by a pitch in the eye. And you signed an experienced veteran who was making the playoffs and all-star games with the Giants after he came back over from Japan and resurrected his major league career. And you put him in a bullpen. You gave Jeff Locke his start over him. I hate Jeff Locke. All right? I am sorry. I am never a fan of Jeff Locke. I was not happy at all that we kept giving him chance after chance after chance. That whole Nate McLeod deal back in 2009 was a complete flop. Charlie Morton, where the heck is he now? Yes, he had a couple solid years. Where is he now, though? I don't know. He went to the Phillies in a trade last offseason. What the heck ever happened to him? I didn't pay too much attention, so that might be a little too far there. Gorky Hernandez was supposed to be, a couple years ago, they imagined an outfield for the Pirates for the future, which was Gorky Hernandez, Andrew McCutchen, and who else? Oh, Jose Tabata. Only one of them actually lasted, and that is Andrew McCutchen. Jose Tabata, he turned into just a fourth outfielder. Now he's minor leagues with the Dodgers, I guess. We traded him for Michael Morse last offseason. And then we also traded, whatever happened, was he the other one I was talking about now? Crap. Oh, Gorky Hernandez. Great defender, couldn't hit for crap. And where's he now? Again, I don't know. So we did get a solid outfield in the end with Marte, McCutchen, and Polanco. All three speedsters who all three have not yet, I feel, had been to their fullest potential in one season. And then, so we just, instead of thinking, okay, 98 wins, we got lost from a bad luck, we end up going to a dump saying, we got to prepare for the future. Well, those days, Bob Nutting, and I'm saying Bob Nutting because this is his fault, are over. It just shows that the Pirates management care about nothing else but their money. That's all they care about. They show that they don't care about winning championships. All they care is about what is in their wallet. And then when things started going downhill a little bit in June, we didn't completely collapse then, but it's like we never got stable and we never got back on track. There we go, right there. Caused the Pirates to go from 98 wins to 78 wins. I predicted 86 wins at the beginning of the season. 86. I still thought we had enough to win. Have a winning season. We didn't have a winning season. And now what's next? Now I hear rumors yesterday or the other day that the Pirates are going to be quietly shopping Kutch over the next 2 years. I mean, yeah, his contract I think expires next year, or I think he might have an option for 2018. I'm not sure. But, we need to spend money or else we're never going to win. But of course it doesn't matter because it doesn't seem like anybody in the Pirates management cares enough about winning a championship because they don't spend money. We've done it years ago. Remember the 1960 World Series? 1971? 1979? Let me rattle off some names here for you. Roberto Clemente. Willie Stargell. Bill Mazeroski. Dave Parker. Bill Madlock. All these guys. And we can't spend money on guys. We're giving guys like Andrew McCutchen, who should be making like $100 million, $51 million over 6 years. Starling Marte, who's been getting better. Yes, this year's power numbers will down, but he still had a great average, great stolen bases, $30 million over 6 years. Same with Polanco, who finally had like a good, decent year. Only thing I'd ask about for Polanco, the batting average up just a little bit higher, from 260 maybe up to like 280, and then those numbers, great. Kutch, the only thing he was wrong with him this year, his batting average down was a little bit. Even though he still hit like 255, he still had 24 homers, almost drove in 80 RBIs. That's almost as much as he had in his MVP season a couple years ago when he won the MVP award, and he had even better numbers the year after. And now you're automatically saying, oh, he had one bad year, we should get rid of him. The big problem is, of course, they need to put better management in that office. I mean, not so much Clint Hurdle, but they need somebody else owning this team. Because they need somebody that cares about winning a championship and making the city of Pittsburgh happy as far as baseball goes, rather than someone who's sitting in there that is just cheap and just want nothing else than just to have money in their own wallet. I'm scared. I don't know if we're worried about the Pirates. I don't know what's going to happen. How they're going to get back on track next year. What could they possibly do? Their biggest problem this year was inconsistency. Mainly their pitching, but their offense, mazel tov. It was a lot better. Besides Kutch, Kutch has averaged out a little bit. A lot of people were still to play. Jordy Mercer had a decent year with the bat. Starling Marte, again, despite his power numbers down, he still hit over 300, stole almost 50 bases, and he even had a nagging injury for most of the last month. Gregory Polanco, like I said, great year with the bat, led the Pirates in RBIs. He had 22 home runs. This was like the batting average to be up a little bit higher. Francisco Cervelli, You know, he was a little bit injury plagued this year, but you know what? I still think he's still valuable to have behind the plate. I'm completely fine with having him. Josh Harrison, still not as good as he was a couple years ago, but I'll take it. Jung Ho Gung, injury plagued season, but limited more so because of his injury from at the end of last season. He still hit 21 homers and like 300 bats. 30, 40 home runs maybe from next year. We'll see how that goes. But the Pirates just stick with this holding this offense and don't get rid of anybody, even though they probably will trade some of their better players getting this offseason because they're falling down and becoming sellers. We have to prepare for the future now. Well, you know what? You should not have been preparing for that future at all last year because you had your future. You had the present in you, and you all blew it just because I got tongue twisted there. For the second year in a row, you lost in the wild card game. That is why. Because you panic, because how could you possibly get any better than 98 wins? The Cardinals, as I thought, didn't have as good of a year. If we would have at least kept a couple of those players, especially Neil Walker, because I heard that last year, if things weren't working out for Pedro at first base, there was rumors of moving Walker over to first base, just so because of his back injuries, instead of having him play second. Josh Harrison could have easily played second. I don't mind Harrison at second, but no, they got rid of him. We need to spend money. And then getting to the pitching. This is the biggest issue I had. I mean, Garrett Cole, injury-plagued season. Francisco Liriano, who's gone now, was atrocious. And the problem was he was walking way too many batters. When the guy's locked in, he's phenomenal. He struck out 13 batters. One of his last starts with the Pirates. Still gave up 3 runs, but he struck out 13 batters. If that guy's not walking anybody, he's a freaking beast. He's easily the ace. Ryan Vogelsong, yeah, again, a little bit of an inconsistent year, but again, injuries, but I saw he didn't do atrocious. He had maybe 1 or 2 really bad starts that I was disappointed with him. Juan Nicasio started off as a starter. Wasn't really, working out well. Put him into the bullpen. He's phenomenal. Ivan Nova, we got him from the Yankees. I wouldn't mind re-signing him. I would love to, but we're probably not. He's probably going to want money, and we're not going to be willing to pay him all that money. And of course, as I keep saying, get rid of Jeff Locke. You've given that guy way too many chances. He made 1 All-Star team because of a great first half he had. After that, what has he been? Nothing but a joke. It's time to move on from Jeff Locke. Let him go somewhere else. It's obviously not working out here. And then closing situation as well. I love Tony Watson. I don't want to bash on him too much, but Tony Watson, in my opinion, is not ready yet to be a closer, especially when you gave up around a trade deadline when you were still in playoff contention and you traded Tony Watson to the Nationals. You got Pedro Rivera, whatever the heck his name is, Felipe Rivera. I cannot remember to the life of me. I think it's Pedro Rivera. If that's wrong, I'm sorry. Which, don't get me wrong, he's got a great arm, but he walks too many guys. And once again, back to Liriano. If his control is way off, then he's not going to do well. And here's the thing. Tony Watson barely had any closing experience at all. Any at all before going into this season. And you throw him into the closer role in the middle of a pennant race? Some people just can't handle the closer's role. You should have maybe put like Neftali Felice into the closer's role or something like that, because he has closing experience. He won the freaking Rookie of the Year a couple years ago and he saved 40 games. Yes, he's had injuries, but you know what? Give him another shot. Throw him back in there. See what he can do. What are you afraid of? And it's a shame because that's probably the biggest thing on the market we should shop for this offseason. Even though we're not going to be spending the money, we're probably going to trade for some guy who's got like a 5-something ERA, think, oh, he's going to be the best thing. He could work better here with better change of scenery. Well, no. We need to stop going after prospects. We were at that point where we need to be going after actual stars who deserve the money because we were a great team. And we ruined it by doing that mini fire sale and trying to get some cheap prospects that could be good. Or some people who are come to the majors and they are working out with a team. Maybe they'll do better here. How many players have left the Pirates? How many players have you think actually left the Pirates and either their careers ended because nobody wanted them because it ruined their careers, or they left and they've gone on to do even better somewhere else? Jose Bautista, prime example. Had better coaching. The guy is one of the best power hitters in the league right now. All because of him going to Toronto. Again, You know, my cousin even pointed out too. This offseason, the Pirates are going to have a choice. It's hit or miss the next 2 years, in my opinion. Especially with Kutch and Cole. You know, two guys, your two big players, your ace and your franchise player are going to need to decide what the heck to do with them. You're going to sign them both. You might have to sign one, might not be able to afford one of them, or you're going to let them go and go right back to the dark ages. I have a bad feeling that's going to happen. I can really see the Pirates being back in third or fourth again next year if they don't do some move this offseason to help them make them a better team. It's not Clint Hurl's fault. I give Clint Hurl all the credit. I mean, I have no one else to blame but Bob Nutting. I'm sorry. He's just not a great owner in my opinion. Again, that was just me letting out some steam about my favorite team. As a number one fan, frustrated, just letting go of the fact that he's refused to disbelieve. It's been that bad that this past month I literally didn't watch half the Pirate games. I barely watched because I lost hope for the first time in the 11 or 12 years actually, since I said 2004 that I've been watching baseball, mainly following the Pirates. I lost hope in my hometown team, and it's all because of bad moves. They need to make some better moves to help this team get better. Again, we have some great starting pitchers coming up, but they're not all going to blossom into those big potential that they've been saying for years now. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not. That's it. That's all I got to say. So again, if you want to leave your comments, if it's something you want to say nasty about me, I don't want to hear it. I would delete them right away. It's just me just letting out some steam about what happened. Stay tuned for more video content coming to the channel. See you all later.